Do you want an aggressive junkyard dog who's going to fight for you hard, or do you want somebody who has a reputation as, easy to get along with? The answer might surprise you. While of course it's important to have somebody who fights for your rights and stands up for you, if they are that aggressive junkyard dog, the risk can be that they end up being obnoxious or offensive to judges, to prosecutors, and even to juries if your case goes to trial. And so having somebody who knows how to walk that balance, who knows how to stand for your rights and fight for you, but knows how to do it at the right time and how to do it, that walk softly, carry a big stick mentality, that they have a good reputation. That makes all the difference in the world, in my opinion. I have cultivated a reputation at the courthouses in which I work as somebody who fights for their clients. And if you go to trial, I'm going to give you a hard fought trial, but who's easy to work with, easy to get along with, and reasonable. That ends up benefiting my clients. It's not something where I'm intentionally, being something I'm not in order to get prosecutors to open up and talk to me. But my reputation as easy to work with ends up benefiting my clients. Prosecutors end up. So what kind of...
That there, ladies and gentlemen, was Karmelo Anthony's attorney, Mike Howard. Now, there's a lot of people that's saying that Mike Howard rigged this case. And there's attorneys that's coming out and they're, pulling up the case and they're looking at the transcripts and they're looking at all the things that he should have said, all the things that he didn't say. And people are saying that, man, listen, he was down with these people. Now, you have an attorney, Christopher King. He says that he practiced down in Cohen County before. And he went and got the transcripts. And he's been reading the transcripts of the case. And he's been uncovering a lot of things that should have been brought up in court that was not brought up in court. And he's been exposing attorney Mike Howard. He's been exposing the Metcalf family. He's been following this case closely. Now, there's a discrepancy whether ISD released the proper video. Now, they saying that they have the video that's grainy. They got this grainy video they released that you can barely see. But we've had scores and countless people come out and say, hey, we saw the video. We paid to go see the video. Shout out to No Cap with Freezy, where he's brought on so many people that said that they saw the video, and the video that they're presenting is not the actual video that in totality that will free Karmelo Anthony. So there's a lot of discrepancies in this case. They put it through the appeals. It's in the appeals process now. Hopefully he'll get the appeal. But right now, there are a lot of people that's uncovered a lot of things that either wasn't brought up in court, or if it was brought up in court, he didn't fight it as hard as he should have.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to another installation of KingCast, Lawlessness, Injustice, and Journalism. Things of that nature. I'll be quick. I'm on a run. We're back in Seattle, and we have an update on the apparent bullying abuse pertaining to the Metcalf twins. Both boys, Hunter and Austin, right? Yeah, y'all's little angels. Let's take a look here. Okay? This is from the cheerleaders, right? Okay? Hunter, got my purple from Hunter, fat bitch, he said to them. I don't know what triggers his rages. We see the Metcalfs act out time and time again. Plural, see that plural right there? Tap, tap, tap. After they left Canes, one of the other football players told us Hunter said his hands were bisexual, implying that he would not only hit guys, but also girls. Tap, tap, tap. The only question now, this is clearly exculpatory evidence for Karmelo, right? And it's part of a larger mosaic. So the only question now is whether or not Judge Roche granted a limine motion on it, or whether Mike Howard sold Karmelo Anthony down the river on his own volition. Okay? So let's take a look at it, right? That's where I said it. And see, that's it right there. I said it. I always carry expert witnesses. There's some of the other things he didn't do, and that was just off the top of my head at the moment, right? Okay? Mike, tell us the story, man. That's why I asked today for all the motion hearings. I want to know what came up. Yeah, level up, brother. There's Mike Campbell. He's an attorney. He outed this information, right? Because there's where the email chain went to the Frisco people, all right? What they're doing is they're making Karmelo the fall guy. They're protecting scholarships from all these people who were involved in criminal activity. That's my statement. That's what I believe. So once all these ball players are involved, they're not going to get any scholarships again. They made the Negro the fall guy. And I'm telling some people about this that are very high in the sports world about this. You don't need to know who they are. If you're smart, you'll sports world about this. You don't need to know who they are. If you're smart, you'll figure it out. But you're not smart, so you just have to wait. That's it right there. There it is. There's the fat bitch, all of it, right? Go back, get your email addresses off these people. These are the people who should be held accountable right there, and probably more. Tap, tap, tap. This is major. They need to take the whole scholarship program, NCAA, take it from them. Take that money and get Karmelo out of prison where he does not belong. There you go. Or maybe jail, sorry. Whichever the case. Get him out. There's the hands were bisexual. Time and time again. Sorry to have to bring this to you. Please keep my name confidential, as I fear what they would do if they knew. I'm so done with it. I'm so done with it. Yeah. I'm going to say something else. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep it clean. It has to stay clean. But it is what it is. Raise up Salokater.
So Mike Howard, he had all of this in the transcripts, but he didn't go all the way to the depths, right? Because people was giving statements, and they were saying that these guys were bullies. They were threatening some of the cheerleaders, calling them fat bees, saying that his hands was bisexual, right? And, meaning he bringing the smoke to a man or a woman, right? So these guys was known for being violent. There's even rumors that was out there saying that they were suspended. Some people say that Karmelo was suspended. Now in the transcripts, there's some things in the transcripts that they say that they wasn't suspended. But then they say that they have text messages where the coach was getting at Austin about his behavior and told him don't show up. But then he changed his stance. So a lot of these people changed their stance because they wanted to make Karmelo the fall guy. They wanted to make Karmelo the bad guy, right? Where you had people that said they saw the video of him sitting on that bench for like 9 minutes before the altercation even ensued, right? So you have people reporting this.
Head track coach testified that Austin Metcalf was not supposed to be at that track meet, and that he had kicked Austin Metcalf off the track team because the previous track meet, he became upset with Austin and Hunter because they left the track meet early to go fishing. And as a result, he kicked Austin off the track team. His exact words, I didn't need him there. He said Austin had a crappy, this were his words, he had a crappy throwing season. I didn't need him there, and I kicked him off the team. Under oath. Austin Metcalf, according to his own coach, was not supposed to be there. He was kicked off the team. His words was, I didn't need him there. But he allowed him to come and help out because Austin Metcalf wanted to prove himself.
But see, with all that being said, attorney Christopher King, he wasn't done because he showed a transcript of where they were saying that alleged, this is all alleged. It's all alleged. I'm not saying none of this is 100% factual. I'm just reporting what's being reported, right? So I want to be cautious to make sure I don't want to put things out there that's not true. So I want to put the word alleged over there because I can't prove anything yet, right? His appeal process is still going through. But they said that knife was a knife that was used to put up the tents, right? And these were some things that were said in the transcripts that doesn't go along with what was actually said by the time they got to trial. Things that were said in that actual initial beginning, Mike Howard didn't go out of his way to fight for it.
Well, well, well. Welcome to another installation of KeenCast, law, justice, politics, motorsports, things of that nature. And my folks, my, how the complexion could be changing. So this is a story that someone I know on Facebook sent me this from, a chat line. And Cynthia Carpenter stated to Racici and Burleson, it looks like, that's what Fox 4 responded as ambulance was leaving the track field. The two boys and Hunter said that Karmelo picked up the tool they used to put their tents up with after his brother Austin punched him in the face. Fox News hurried up and took down that local live breaking news story, and we Dallas folks have not seen that video no more. That's what the two boys said, and Hunter was crying and said, "I stand by my brother even if he was wrong." They can't take that away from us Dallas residents. We haven't forgotten that. People, please, anybody who has seen this, we need you to come forward, and I mean like now, okay? And you know, it's the same missing video that they're pulling on us, you know, with regard to the whole incident, right? When is the last time, like I said my other bike video, when is the last time you've seen the media withhold or keep from the public a video that was inculpatory of black people? Sure, right? When I got indicted, it was complete bullshit and I beat it. They ran, I did voir dire when I was in the NAACP legal chair. It was complete bullshit, right? I went through voir dire and then they ran away like a puppy that peed itself, right? And they all processed the charges, all that stuff. Just crap. But I was on the front page of the newspaper and I hadn't even been contacted about it. That's how they do you. That's why when I saw this case come up, I'm like, I gotta fight for this kid, right? So now we're back to this trusty old beat up suitcase, right? Pepper, you want a treat? Okay, so, all right, check this out. If that's true, right? Here you go. If that's true, then how do you not put him on the stand, Mike Howard? Okay, because listen, you know damn well, you know, Karmelo has virtually spotless background, all right? Nothing that would be overshadowed by anything that's going to come out on cross, right? Or from them, right? So you got to miss me with that, man. You cannot just put a regular case on, especially with a black person in America. You can't just go that half step and say I've got home. I got to second base. Now I'm home. I can coast on through because I discredited a couple of their witnesses while I allowed testimony. Let's not get into that. But you can't just do that. You got to go the extra mile because we're black. And I'm not ashamed to say that because you know what? Calling out racism is not racism. It's just calling a spade, right? So anyway, I had thought that it was a weapon of opportunity, right? But I thought by that it was a weapon of opportunity that was on Hunter's belt because we know he always carries a poker, or he does in pictures. We've seen it, right? So I'm going to read it one more time and I'll take a ride. Take a ride with me. That's what Fox 4 reported. His ambulance was leaving the track field. The two boys and Hunter said Karmelo picked up the tool they used to put their tents up after his brother Austin punched him in the face. Okay, so remember, that matches the video I keep playing. Somebody made a loop of it. It's the video where Jeff Metcalf said, when his sons and members of the high school track team, when his sons and members of the Memorial High School track team, you know, right. So once again, we have a situation where if that's true, you know, you know what I think happened, right? Let's do it again. That's what I think happened.
So attorney Christopher King just he's uncovering that early on, they saying that in early transcripts that Karmelo was punched in the face and he used the tool that was already there to put the tents up. And he's alleging that this is what the Austin brothers said, right? Mike Howard, we don't see, remember, they cut off all communication, all camera footage, everything off in the courtroom. So we wasn't privy to these things. We don't really know. So now everybody's fighting for the retrial, but I told y'all he would not get a fair trial. He wasn't going to get a fair trial down there. Now remember, in these transcripts, these people that were speaking out wanted to remain anonymous, for they was fearing for their lives because they got to go back and live in that town. The jurors got to go back and live in that town, right? Greg Willis, he got to get elected by the people in there to keep his job. Judge Roach got to get elected by the people there to keep his job, right? So how can you get a fair trial by groups of people by these people whose livelihood is dependent upon the people who want Karmelo Anthony's head, which is the town? Because he was already made to look real guilty in front of everybody. So people were speaking off the record. Mike Howard didn't go out of his way to get these people on the stand. Man, this whole thing is just crazy, right? So this attorney is going back, pulling up all of this old stuff. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know what y'all think. Remember, all of this stuff is alleged right now. But let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV and leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.